on to you crabs out here. So for you, you have the Two of Swords, the King of Swords, and then you crabs have the Three of Cups. So for you crabs, right? Okay. So for some of you crabs, there's a person essentially who is a lot more remorseful, supposedly, right? About you crabs, how they interact with you. Excuse me. There's a sense of this person not really understanding how strategic you crabs could be. And they wanted to play, they wanted to disrespect you. They wanted to play a silly little game of disrespect. And so they disrespected you. And because they essentially did that, you and this person would really this person would try to put you into a test, and you crabs inadvertently passed it by essentially not playing their game. And this is exactly why it is that I tell y'all, whenever it is that people are trying to test you, because not everybody is going to do that, but if someone tries to test you, don't play their game. You don't have to participate in their game. And I've talked about this plenty of times because it really is the truth. You really don't have to participate in other people's game if you really don't want to. Not really. You ain't really gotta. Not really. If people decide that they want to start playing a game with you, anybody, you can walk away. You're an adult. You can walk away. You can choose to not participate. The rare times that you can't walk away because they surround you and they up in your face, smash them up. Do what you got to do. I mean, I'm not on some moral high ground. I'm just telling you the reality of the situation, right? I'm telling you stuff that literally I would do. So it's not like, like if somebody was in my face, they got they homies surrounding me or whatever the case may be, and they put their hands on me. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Boop, 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 boom. You know? Anyway, obviously they didn't do this. But the point that I'm trying to make here is they tested you, right? They were trying to test you, see how you moved. And you passed. But you didn't mean to. It wasn't like you were. You see, that's the thing. Like, you just saw it for what it was, but it was more about you doing whatever it is that you want to do. Excuse me. More than it was about. I'm gonna drink some water afterwards, but more than it was about you needing to pass the test. And this is what it is that I'm trying to say. Like, who's really rebels? Like, is it the people that got the look, the 6 feet change individuals, or is it the individual who's like, yo, I'm not going to do any of that. This is what it is that I'm going to do over here, right? And and me and my, me and some of the homies that I've known from this YouTube thing, we chop it up every now and again, and whenever it is that I have a chance, and I let them know what it is. Like, the real ones that you consider to be like bad or like rebellious are the ones that pick and choose what it is that they want to do. Don't sit down. Don't let people tell you, you can't do this, and tell you to shut up and all of that. They only supposed to, only shut up if it's beneficial for you, is the point that I'm trying to make. Why is this so important? Because we see that there's this attraction to rebellious people. But it's like, when you're really looking at it, though, who's really rebellious, though? Everybody's rebellious for different reasons. People are rebellious. You have half of the people rebellious because it's cool and it's trendy and it's popular, and then you have half of the people who are rebellious because they realize that nothing that they do is essentially going to make a difference, because self-absorbed, conceited people can't see the beauty or the irony of the situation, that the same people that they spend so much time complaining about is the same people that they overlook, right? You know, they want a significant other. Excuse me there. Is it that you really want one? Not you, but I'm saying that do they really want one? So the Queen of Cups right here and the Seven of Swords speaks to how so I just see a lot of you crabs are not really afraid of anything moving forward, because a lot of you crabs have very much so figured it out. You know, you've definitely figured it out. Like, a person doesn't have to like you all the time, you know? You don't have to be liked all the time, or whatever the case may be. And it doesn't have anything to do with you per se all the time. Sometimes it is a person just making a decision that they don't want to rock with you. And they don't necessarily need to have a real reason. They just saying that, right? So then the Seven of Swords right here represents, you know, your excessive thinking was the problem, is what you crabs realized. Your excessive thinking, the need to be validated, right? The need to the need to be validated and all of that, right? And now you crabs figured it out. You realize that you don't really care too much about the validation like that. You're going to gain the validation just from doing what it is that you want to do. You need to have discipline and structure. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you even have to be perfect with it, because again, I'm not on a moral high ground. I'm not perfect with it. There's things that I still want to do to better structure my life. But when you have discipline and stuff like that, that puts you in a very powerful position. See, a lot of people want power, but they don't really actually want to do or even know from experience what it takes to actually be in a very powerful position. And it takes discipline. It takes structure. It takes responsibility. It takes accountability. And I've talked about this, you know, a little bit, not too much, but power and responsibility are literally inseparable. If you want power, you want responsibility. Responsibility and power are equivalent. They are the same thing. So you can't have power unless you take responsibility. It's not an exception. If you saying that you want power, okay, you will be responsible over said thing, because now it falls back onto you. Now, why is this important? You crabs have gained power. And it's not something, and that's another thing too, it's real because it's not something that essentially can be taken away. It's something that it's not something that can be taken away from you per se. It's something that, you know, you crabs have essentially gotten to know some people, and you've come up on a brand new mentality. And the brand new mentality is the Moon and the Hermit. It's the same stuff that it is that I've been talking about, right? If a person decides that they don't want to hang out with you, or they don't want to engage with you in the way that you like, you have to give them up, you know? Because the Moon and the Hermit right here represents how they're contacting you. The people that tried to play a game with you and tested you, try to contact you, and they can't get you on the phone. They can't text you. They find it harder to get in touch with you crabs. And it's for a reason. You don't want to get in touch with them. You don't want to have contact with these people. So why would you be so easily, readily available to them, you know, in the first place? You're doing it intentionally. You don't want to be found by them. And then you have the Eight of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. You know, I just see a lot of you crabs are not really going for it. And this is what it is that I've been saying about the whole power situation, right? You would have never guessed that I was talking like this from the way that I used to be. I used to be very nervous, not so nervous to the point where if I'm, you know what I'm saying, without me like exaggerating and trying to make myself more heroic and all of that, just to bam, tell the truth. I was nervous around trying to get at some people, romantically. And I was nervous. And I wasn't so nervous to the point where it would freeze me, right? Because if you ask people that I know, they will tell you that they think that I'm kind of they think that I'm kind of off my rocker, and that's not it at all. Um, that's how bold sometimes I could be, right? To the point where sometimes they'll think that I'm off my rocker. They'll be like, "Yo, this dude is wild for real, for real." And I've done. I mean, I've done some wild stuff. I've done some wild stuff. And I still continue to do some wild stuff, but it's not, I have more to lose. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm like, like me and my homies used to like cross traffic in a busy highway, like walk from Harlem to anyone who been to New York, ever been to New York, anyone who knows New York well, they know where Harlem is. Harlem is Harlem is Upper East Side, or more so accurately, to be more accurate, Upper Manhattan, right? It's Manhattan. It's still Manhattan. I don't live in Upper Manhattan. I live in Lower Manhattan. But Harlem is Upper Manhattan. Me and my homies used to, you know what I'm saying? I remember one time we walked such a long distance. I remember one time, or whatever the case may be, um, uh, we was talking about walking from such and such. I remember one time I walked from Harlem all the way down to Lower Manhattan. That's for all those people who don't know. Harlem starts at 125th Street, right? Um, Without saying too much about my location or whatever the case may be, let's just say that it's over 100 blocks. It's over 100. It's you feel what I'm saying? That's how long kind of a distance it is to be walking. You feel what I'm saying? That's a couple miles. And I walked those couple of miles, right? And it took me like 1 or 2 hours. By the time I was done, the bottom of my feet hurt. You know what I'm saying? And my lower back hurt because, you know what I'm saying? But the point that I'm trying to make here is that when you attain that level of power, because of the fact that you crabs have actually done the work spiritually and mentally and emotionally, this is why there's a lot of you aren't afraid, because it's like, so what if the person isn't into you, right? Like, so what if the person is testing you or whatever the case may be? Who cares? Overall, you crabs have your freedom. And it's not just about, yes, you crabs have your physical freedom, but you crabs also have your freedom in here and in here too. To where if people are trying to like press you or whatever, right? Try to make you crabs feel scared, or if you do something that's wrong, they don't like you anymore. All that trash. I just see a lot of you crabs, y'all don't really care about that. And you shouldn't care. If I'm being honest with you, you shouldn't care, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you're gonna be disliked by somebody. Johnny Depp was disliked by Amber Heard. So what that tells me about that situation is, no matter how popular, no matter how great you strive to be, you're gonna make enemies. And this person, come to find out, my dear crabs, this person was just fronting. They were acting like they're not into you when they really are. And the reason why it is that they had to do that was because, they felt like they're insecure around you. And they feel like they have to make you kind of like an enemy to kind of make you second guess your own inner strength, your own abilities, your own capabilities. And that type of stuff is just not working. And then you have the Two of Wands right here. Okay? And the Two of Wands speaks to how a lot of you crabs, though, it doesn't matter what it is that they tried to pull, because obviously it didn't work. You know, you crabs very much so will keep this new mentality, and you will keep it intact because it's the truth. It really is the truth. To figure out, my dear crabs, that you've been told lies, and the impression that people give off was one big game ever since you were a little one. Why? How many times, you crabs, let me shuffle up these cards. Let's clarify the Two of Wands. How many times you crabs have gone to people and asked them for advice, and they completely conflated the situation. They told you terrible advice. A lot of times, right? And the reason why is because they didn't want you to figure it out at a young age is why. You got to be much older in the game, or somebody had to put you on, or you had to get into the in crowd and just you may not have necessarily have it figured out to a certain extent, but you figured it out enough to where you know that follow fashion. If you do what it is that the Romans do, eventually you'll get attention. Me, I never did that. And I was outcasted because of the fact that I never did any of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, and overall, you feel what I'm saying? Overall, essentially, I just did my thing. To be real with you, I just did my thing, regardless of the who or the what. There's a lot of ruckus though, but eventually I got out. You know, eventually, and I don't mean incarceration. You know, I'm talking about eventually. High school ended. College ended because I dropped out of college or whatnot. It wasn't for me. And life began. And I realized what type of time it is. I get to do whatever it is that I want because I'm an adult. And the point is that when you crabs have that new mentality, you're in a very good position too. The Queen of Cups, the Page of Wands, the Ace of Swords, the Page of Swords, and then you have the Seven of Cups. Why is all of this stuff I'm telling you important? Because this new mentality that you crabs have, the one where you understand that people are testing you to get on your nerves, to see what type of time you want, all that other type of stuff. They're doing that and all that other type of stuff, right? Because they're mad insecure around you, like I said before. So they have to essentially put you in a position, or try to put you in a position where, let's see how it is that you move, right? Right. But I mean, it's okay. And I'll tell you why it's okay. It's okay if you mess up and you react to it, because if you look at it like a learning experience, right? And you don't get super emotional like what I did, you'll learn a lot. You know, when you're not emotional, you'll learn a lot. Me, used to take it personally because I'm like, well, I'm not playing the game. What's going on? Why is it that so many people are playing the game? And I used to go ahead and try to figure it out. Like, what's up? What's going on? Now that I have it figured, now that I've had it figured out to a certain extent, because I'm still a student, I'm always going to learn. For me, it's like, oh, it's kind of lame for me. You know what I mean? For me personally, because especially, my dear crabs, if you have a plan. The reason why I'm saying that is because the Queen of Cups, Page of Wands, and the Ace of Swords speaks to that. Now it puts you in the driver's seat about how you don't really have to care like that, or chase validation from other people, right? Trying to play the game or whatnot. And this is part of the reason why it is that I'm so weird. You know, people think that or whatever. Nah, not really. I'm here to challenge people's ideas on what it is that they think normality is. You think that I'm being weird because I'm doing this? It's like, come on, yo. Everybody watches anime. Stop. Everybody knows what anime is. You know what I'm saying? Everybody watches television. If you don't watch television, you're a blessing. You still watch YouTube. That's television. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's replaced TV basically. So it's like what is normal, right? What is normal exactly? So that's pretty much it though. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. A lot of you crabs have built up some confidence and it's coming from a real place because you know yourself. That's it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video, smash the subscribe button, like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. And leave a comment as well, right? That does help. We're coming up on 16,300 already. Thank you.